Ever feel like the heart of our community gets lost in the noise of the daily news? I'm your host, Pastor James Dimmel, and on the Beyond Belief Incredible Stories of God's Miracles podcast, we're pulling back the curtain on the people and projects making a real difference right here in our backyard. From local leaders to hidden gems, we share the stories that hit home. Join the conversation every month. Search for Beyond Belief Incredible Stories of God's Miracles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Matt Lamb here with host James Dimmel. Today we have a guest that goes entirely beyond belief, right? If you've ever felt like you've fallen too far or lost too much, past is completely locked down your future, you're going to want to pull a chair up to this one and listen because it's a good story. So, Kristy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Kristy, so you started on this journey and you're getting ready to tell us your story, and it was a place of pain. You began Oxycontin at 12 years old, is that right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so what you described when we talked to you is you had a lot of hurt and pain. And at 16 years old, it started an addiction process that just took you down a bad road, and it was a landslide.
Mm-hmm.
So can you kind of tell us about that? You were in an abandoned home, no water, no electric.
Yeah, absolutely. It was 12. I started at the age of 12.
Okay.
And at the end of the 16 years of just everything, I was on methamphetamine, all that different stuff. I remember being in this abandoned house. There's no electric, there's no water. And the people that were even in the house, I did not know. I was just there. I was just floating through life. And I remember there was this oblong mirror on the side of the wall, and I caught a glimpse of myself for the first time ever. And in that moment, I remember seeing this empty, lifeless body in front of me in this mirror. And I just remember, like, how did I get to this? Like, I can't understand, like, how my whole life has led up to this empty hole that I was. I mean, it was like a black hole looking.
So I always ask everybody this, and I know but let's go back before 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you, we've done 4 podcasts now, you're the 4th one, and I ask everybody the same thing. So I want to kind of preface everything we're getting ready to talk about with this. Had you ever been to church?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Would you say that you were a churched person, like you knew who Jesus was and all of that stuff? You'd given your life to him, or you'd been like on, Easter and Christmas?
Yeah. Well, my mom was saved, and so
Okay.
her and her sisters, they were all in like a gospel group that I was actually part of. And we would go all around Ohio singing songs. So I knew about Jesus. I knew him.
As long as I knew you, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I did. And so I think there's multiple times that, like, the Lord I think I had a soft spot in my heart, but I just, honestly, I wanted to kind of do my own thing after all the stuff I've been through, and the drugs made me powerful inside.
You felt 10 foot tall and bulletproof.
I did. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And so from 12 to 16 years later.
I was 26.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whirlwind of crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't want anything to do with, like, going to church or.
What was the turnaround? So I'm at church, I'm singing, I'm in a group, I'm doing all these things, and then all of a sudden, I don't want nothing to do with it. Can you tell us, like, what caused that?
Yeah, I think, honestly, I was always afraid. I remember, like, just all the chaos and always feeling afraid, and somebody had offered me the pill, and I just remember it made me feel like I wasn't afraid any longer. It made me, like, be able to say the things that were inside of me that I wasn't able to say. I was too afraid to say. It made me stand out, I guess. I felt like I was always unnoticed, or unseen, or unheard. And so I think when I tried that, it made me feel like, wow, people, like, noticed me. and I'm heard now. I can say what I feel inside instead of being afraid of consequences or, whatever the case may be.
I think there's a lot of Christian people that have that same, and I'm talking about Christians.
Yeah.
They have that same feeling. I'm not seen. I'm not heard by anybody. Nobody cares about me. And I think that is a lie from the devil. And obviously he can take you down a path.
Absolutely.
That is just a path of brokenness. And so this is all good stuff. Matt, you got anything to say? We always got to bring Matt into the conversation.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible story. I mean, so far, what we've gotten into. You talk about being in total darkness and then suddenly having light shine on your reality, pretty much. When you hear that warning, how did your perspective on your need for mercy change?
Well, I think that was just like the first time I realized like I needed help. Here I had been all that time just doing life thinking I was doing the right thing. Honestly, I never thought like anything was wrong with that because that's how everybody did things around me, except for my mom. But, she was different. She wasn't, doing the same things that we were. And so, I just remember like, I need help. I can't get out of this. There's no way I could get out of this without help. And I think that was just the first time I realized like I needed help.
Did you know where that help was going to come from?
I did.
Like inside, you knew that
I knew I needed. Yeah, I ended up, I went to the church down the road from where I was because I knew them, from my mom and just different places there. It was in Belfast, Ohio. But I walked there and then they helped me get to my mom. And obviously I did my own thing there. I was trying to do my own recovery.
The thing about it that like when we talk to people, because everybody that we've had on here has an incredible story and they're different.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is like everybody had to go from this, what they think of church, what they think of Jesus Christ,
mm-hmm.
to the reality of a real version of who he is, or the real version, the truth, I guess that's the way I should put it.
Yeah.
And so when we get to truth, mercy comes running after us.
Right.
And we don't realize mercy had been with us the whole time. And so you said something that talked about the real version of Jesus Christ. And can you elaborate on that? Because I think it'll help a lot of people, talking about the truth, because the real version is the truth. And we have parts of the truth, it seems like. And we sprinkle in Jesus here or when it makes us feel good, but when we're lost and we don't have another option,
mm-hmm.
and hope, bursts forth on our life, I guess is the way that we put it, then things begin to change. Yeah. So can you talk about, so you go to church.
Yeah, so I went to the church and so through my brother, he went through another program.
So your brother had the same issue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did. He went through a program called The Refuge.
Okay.
And so he's the one that kind of connected me to this other program because I wanted to be able to smoke still. I wanted to be able to be around men, just kind of do my own thing because I had done a program 6 months before. I had come to the end of myself, and it was called Teen Challenge, but I left because I wasn't.
Oh, you left Teen? See, I didn't know this either. Boy, I'm learning all kinds of stuff. So you went to Teen Challenge, but you didn't stay?
I didn't.
See, I thought you completed it.
I did.
Okay.
The second time.
Okay, so tell us that. I'm sorry, I'm getting it.
Yeah. So the first time I went in, and honestly, I realized I had a problem at that point.
Okay.
But it wasn't beyond I had a problem because I wanted to get my kids back. I lost my kids, and so at that point it's oh, you got to do something to get your kids back. Well, when I got in there, I was in there a month, and I received. I was told that I was going to lose permanent custody of both of my children while I was in there, and I was okay, well, if I'm not going to get my kids back, then what's the point of doing this?
So the first time that you go into Teen Challenge and you hear this, is that when you met Jenny?
No.
Okay, so let me. So Jenny was on our podcast last month.
Yes.
And we talked to her about it, and she said, "This is a great forerunner into you being here." And so, the covering wasn't even thought of, right? So Jenny's working at Teen Challenge. You go through all these issues, and then you leave the program. You had not met Jenny then.
Right.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No,
So,
I had to come to the very end of myself, like we were just talking.
do you feel like Jesus brought you to the end of yourself?
Oh, I know he did.
Okay.
I knew I shouldn't have left when I left because I was sitting in the bus station, and I knew inside of me that I was making the worst mistake I could ever make, but I couldn't do anything about it. I had to keep going. Mm-hmm. So I got on the bus. I went down to Fort Smith, got dropped back off in the same areas or whatever, and it just got.
So you went back?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I almost died like 3 times. I flipped a car end over end 5 times. I don't know how I got out of the car, made it.
This is after 6 months at Teen Challenge.
No, this is a month.
Oh, a month. Okay.
1 month. That's when I lost my kids.
Okay.
Yes. And then I overdosed 3 times. And then that's when I found myself in the abandoned house.
Wow.
That's where I overdosed, was in this house.
So did you wake up and look over?
I was awake. So I'd been there for like a couple weeks, but I was awake, and I just looked over and saw like the end of myself, because like there was just no purpose. Like when I left Teen Challenge after that month, it's like it just kept getting worse and worse. Like by the month, it was only 6 months that I was even out of that program to where I was like, okay, I need to go get help, but I wanted to do it my way.
Yeah.
I wanted to smoke. I wanted to be able to kind of have a little bit of freedom in what I wanted to do. And I found myself at that other recovery program. It was in Pike County somewhere. And I remember when I got there, I actually had a drug dealer drop me off.
Really?
It was that bad.
He was okay with that?
He was, because it was crazy. I think he knew, like, there's something different about me. And I don't mean that, like, hey, like, I think he knew I was serious. I need help. But I couldn't quit doing drugs up to that point. You know, I just kept doing them because, like, oh, you got to do it one more time. You know, you're going into rehab tomorrow. But when I got there, I was just at the end of myself, and I was ready. And I went to the altar at the program, and I surrendered my life to the Lord there.
So, but can I back up just for a second, because we don't talk about this a lot. There are a lot of people that have experienced like that empty feeling of being caught in drugs, but they also have this other side of them. And I think this is something we haven't talked about so far, where I'm empty, I don't know what to do, I know that I'm broken, but the other side of it is just what you said, I need my next fix, or I need my next high. And so this emptiness that they have is a never-ending cycle of broken and tragedy and pain and, you know, overdose and every possible bad word I can say.
Yes.
But they can't seem to get out of that. And so when you'd been to Teen Challenge for a month, and then you go to this rehab program, you give your life to the Lord, did you still have those issues of, I want to be right, but at the same time, I still want my next fix? Just one more time. You know, I know I'm going here or there.
I think so. I was allowed to smoke there. So smoking kind of still kept me in that like old frame of, honestly, being honest, it still kept me in that that place. But I can't say that I didn't wrestle, because I don't remember thinking about it. I remember like I came to the Lord, and like obviously I was not cleaned up. So while I was there, I was doing everything wrong. Like everything wrong. I couldn't even like make my bed on time. Like I couldn't do just the little things, because up to that point in life, I've never had to do it.
So did they have like a schedule of what they wanted you to do? Like you get up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. you make your bed. And so they were trying to teach you what that was.
Yes, and I did terrible at it. I couldn't, and even like cigarettes, like in my mind, like sharing, like somebody said you can have a cigarette. Well, you can get another cigarette if you want one. That's not stealing. You know? In my mind, like that's just how warped I was, you know, but it was actually called stealing.
Yeah. So if you're allowed to have one, but if you took 2, that was stealing.
Right.
Okay.
So like there's this underlying like rules that I just wasn't able to like follow. In my heart, I wanted that change. I wanted to be different. I just didn't know how to get there.
But I think a lot of people don't understand, like when you're so broken like that, you got to quit everything that is addictive, because your personality is addictive.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So I want you to kind of talk about from the rehab and, you say you found Jesus or your version of him,
Mm-hmm.
to getting to Jenny.
Yes.
Because I want to tie all that in, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that view and listen to this that want to hear, how this all come together.
So while I was at that program, they were fasting. And I knew about fasting because obviously I grew up, my mom and all my aunts did stuff like that. So I was aware of it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to fast coffee, even though I really wasn't a coffee drinker then. But I was trying to be a part.
That's like a lot of church people. Yeah. Fast Facebook.
Yeah. So,
I can't say that. I'm going to be trouble.
So I fasted coffee. And I remember I was sitting on the bunk on the ground, and I still have this book too. It's pretty cool to look back, but I remember writing on the thing, I want God, but I want the real thing. I don't want this watered down version, and I don't even think I knew what I was writing or even thinking in my heart. I couldn't have understood what I was saying, but I did. And literally the next day I sat down with all the women in the program and the director. They called this meeting. It was called a Grow or Go meeting.
Oh, wow.
And I sat amongst all these people, and they were telling me all the things that I was doing wrong. And they all voted whether I could grow there or I should go. And they all voted me to go.
Oh,
and
wow.
so I had 3 hours to get off campus. I had nowhere to go. And I was heartbroken inside because I really wanted that, but I just didn't know or understand, I guess. I didn't have my eyes open to what I was doing wrong. And so my mom actually, by God's grace, let me stay with her for a few weeks. But the condition is that I had to find somewhere else to go. And God shut every door that I kept trying to get through. I even tried to go back to them. They would not let me come back. And that's when I called Teen Challenge.
And they took you back?
And the pastor, the director of the program, normally doesn't answer the phone.
Wow.
And I had literally begged, please let me come back. They're like, actually, I said, can I have a bed for a couple weeks and then go somewhere else? And she's like, we don't do that here. It's like, but if you want to come and you're serious about this, then you can come back.
And the director, who was the director?
Linda Hersenberg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so she's the one that said, so I got off the phone. I thought about it for 2 seconds. And my mom was like, Kristy, you can't stay here. And I was like, okay. I'll go. And so I called back and I said, if you guys will let me come, I will finish.
So this is rehab 3.
Yes. Same 2.
Yeah. But,
yes.
I mean, right? You don't complete it don't count.
Yeah,
It's like stealing that extra cigarette, girl.
Exactly.
Okay. So, you still, yeah.
I came there, and that's when I think I was there probably 3 weeks, and Miss Jenny came in and she did the chapel. I can even remember what she wore.
Wow.
So bad. And I just remember her sharing, and inside my heart, I was really loves this guy, Jesus. Obviously I didn't know him personally.
You didn't know her story either.
No. I thought she was a banker when she came in.
I can see that. She's very conservative and elegant. And Jenny's the real deal.
I thought she was a banker, so I was like, wow. Because in there we wore polos and khakis, in uniform. So that's how I met her, and just little by little, she was different to me than anyone I'd ever met in my life, honestly.
Because of Jesus.
Yes, but I didn't know that. I just thought she was just different. But little by little, I learned that it was because Jesus was inside of her, and she really had submitted her life to him, and I wanted.
So how did her presence and her belief and all of those things begin to transition you, and I'm going to put it this way, break you down?
Yeah. Well, I was very untrusting.
Okay.
And obviously most of my life I didn't trust anyone. And so it took a long while for me, but there was this little glimpse that she was the same every time she came. Nothing changed about her.
Right.
Even how, even if I did something really dumb, which I did a lot of dumb things in there, she was just the same. And she was very constant and peaceable. I just remember she was like, Kristy, just every time,
She did not get riled up ever.
No, she was consistent. And I was used to the up and down. Every person I knew. And I was looking. I was trying to find that inconsistency in her so that I could prove these things in my heart that nobody can sense that, I can't trust anyone. But I never found that with her.
So, you complete the program, but during that process, you wrote something on a piece of paper.
Yes.
And did anybody know about this or just you?
I never shared any of those dreams in my heart because I never had any dreams up to that point in my life.
So is that what happened? Somebody said, "What are your dreams?"
She did. Yeah.
Jenny did.
Yeah. So we were sitting in a little devotion at night, and all the girls were in the room, and she asked all of us, what would you do if you had no limits? No limits at all. What would you do with your life? And obviously all the girls would talk and say, I would do this or that or whatever. I did not share because
you didn't say a word.
I didn't say a word.
But you did write it down.
We did. We all wrote it down.
Okay.
But I didn't share mine because in my mind that was impossible.
Inachievable.
How could I be something like that? But when everybody was done, it was time to go to bed. I was trying to slip past her up the stairs so she didn't ask me questions because I knew she was looking at me oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna ask you, and I'm no. She's what was on your paper? I was nothing. She's let me see your paper, and I gave it to her, and she's Kristy, God can do this for you. Why are you acting like that? I was I don't know. I don't see how God could make me that. And what I had wrote on a piece of paper.
That's a wrap on this episode of Beyond Belief Podcast. We want to hear from you. What's happening in your corner of the world? Reach out to us on social media and let us know. If you loved what you heard, please take the like button down, spin it around, and put it back. Then subscribe and tell all your friends. I'm your co-host, Matt Lamb. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next episode.